Hello, this is Reverend Joseph Andrew Jensen. Okay, this is a continuation of God's War. It'll be the fourth video, but I'm going to start hitting each God's War with a certain point. Today's over GODScoin. GODScoin will come first. It'll come. The announcement of it was to come on November the 16th, 2024. It's actually already been announced, and it's being announced, but it becomes a reality on November the 16th, 2024. Now, what GODScoin is, this is explanation. It's going to be the currency of the whole world. It's not going to cost anybody anything. Well, right now it'll cost $1. $1. However, but it only can be acquired through my website. My website will be listed in several places, even on this broadcast. I guess you could say, if you put it in one sentence in small case, God's Living Ministry, GodsMessage.com, with no apostrophes, no capital letters, and no spaces. God's Living Ministry, GodsMessage.com. You'll come to my website. GODScoin will be available for $1. Now, what GODScoin will, in my, I have books. My books will only be available through my authors. Author House, your online publicist, Gotham Books, and on Kindle. But there's the point. Everybody has to go through that website to get GODScoin, no matter what. The reason why you have to go through my website is because every GODScoin has to be dated from the day it's issued. It's issued to one person. That one person could be a newborn or could be the oldest person in the world. Doesn't make any difference as a person. GODScoin has to get to right now the population is 9 billion. It's going to be 9 billion people, plus every future generation. It won't cost anybody anything except for this original $1. But after that, it's given to everybody. Now here's the way it works. GODScoin has to have a beginning. 5 people have been chosen to start this thing. Elon Musk is one. He's been chosen to sponsor North Korea and China. All his money. He's the richest man in the world, $240 billion. He's been chosen to invest everything, get his money out of the United States. Everybody has to get their money out of the United States, or they're going to lose $75,000 a day, because GODScoin will actually, every GODScoin is issued will cost. I'm trying to explain that everybody that buys a GODScoin, its value is $75,000. $75,000. Even though you're only paying $1, it still goes by $750,000 for every GODScoin sold against the dollar and against Bitcoin. This is why Bitcoin will be the first to be offered. Just as soon as November the 16th comes, the letter will go out and the video will go out sometime today. Bitcoin will be offered in trade 2 GODScoin for 1 Bitcoin. Meaning, right now, Bitcoin is worth $68,000, maybe 69. Okay, but they haven't reached 70 yet. That's the high for Bitcoin. They've sold over 20 million of them. It makes Satoshi Nakamoto, the original creator of Bitcoin, kept 1,000 of them. Like I said, 1,000 times 68 $1,000, you can see that's a lot of money. Satoshi's estimated probably around $187 billion dollars. And he's one of the people that has to get his money out of America. Otherwise, he's going to lose $75,000 a day. God wants him to invest in the Congo. Strictly the Congo. There's two Congos. There's the Republic of Congo and there's the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And there's one Congo. The Democratic Republic, the new Democratic Republic of the Congo. It once was a democratic part of Congo and a republic, but they've united. But they got a lot of problems going on in the Congo. Not only is it the second poorest country in the world, but it also, they're stealing their cobalt. Other countries have gone in there with military presence and stole, is stealing their cobalt and their land and killing the people on the land. They say they own the land, they bought the land. They're stealing their minerals. Like pirates. This is how wars start. This is what happens. This is what how the world's been doing business. We did it in Vietnam. We didn't do it to steal their minerals. We did it to help the French that were stealing their land. Plantations, their culture. France had no business going in there starting that with. Neither did England have any right to go into India or Hong Kong. But America's done the same thing. But we've always gone in the sense that we've gone into struggles like with Puerto Rico, Panama, Philippines, I guess even Korea. We went into these countries to aid them. Not so much to Korea, that's a different story. And the fault is in Korea is us. Oh, there's so much that we don't know about Korea and about Japan. We have to understand we need to start looking at, get past this so we can get on and learn the true, everything that's been going on in the old data needs to be turned over by the CIA, by the governments, by the Freemasons, by everything that's hidden in this world has to get out in the open. But first we have to have some kind of control, some kind of safety. GODScoin is that safety device. It's only the one currency that's going to be protected that has no government, because everybody's going to be part of the government of GODScoin. The phone that I'm making this recording of, again, I'm going to be getting an i16, 5G, all these things, Apple. God was using this, waiting for this time. We could never have done this before, right now. This is all being done right now because of these cell phones at the proper time, that we could never done this before because we didn't have the way to communicate as fast as it needs to be communicated. It couldn't have been done when you had people on horses. Couldn't have been done with the regular telephone. So this is why God's perfect timing. I recently learned, I thought about it, and I thought God was against humanity. But that's not really true. In the last 24 hours, I came to realize there's nothing that God doesn't know ahead of time. Just a thought. It says that in David. There's nothing that God doesn't know altogether. So God couldn't have been against this. This is just part of God's plan. I.e., the God in me. He's called him the God in me, but the God in me can't be different than the God of gods. because the God of gods is actually talking with the God in me. They are the same God. You see what I'm saying? That's had to hit me. It finally dawned on me. God can't be against what, i.e. wanting to build heaven on earth. So because God knows all about it, it's the way He's going about it that makes it seem like God was against heaven being put on earth, as He had assumed war with humanity. But here's the thing. There's going to be a war. It hasn't started yet. It won't start until this is over. This is a test. GODScoin's a test, and there's going to be many tests for everybody to see what you're going to do. You don't have a choice. Well, you do have a. It's to live or die, basically. Everybody's choice is to live or die. You want to know how real God is? That's your choice. You're going to live or die. This thing about it is that's what God's is waiting for. He's waiting to see whether you're going to choose to live. Because God is life. God lives in you. But God will no longer, when you go to God in war, that's it. He wants an answer. Are you going to decide to live, or do you want to die? That's only one choice. You're going to live or die. We're not talking about theology here. We're talking about reality. This is the true meaning of life. GODScoin is only the safety device that's going to get everybody on the even keel if we decide to live. We have to decide to live first. The second that anybody opens up a GODScoin account, they have given God hands, feet, and their mouth. Yeah, think about it. I became the hands and feet and mouth of God on June the 9th, 2019, when I was ordained, when God gave me God's message and made me God's messenger. I was ordained. He's the one that led me to be ordained 10 minutes later. Why wouldn't He want, when I looked up, I was confused. How can I be ordained? You have to go, I don't even belong to a real church. You know? No. You can't, every church has an indoctrination. They want to be, you got to learn their beliefs. You have to learn their ways. You have to learn their customs. You have to learn their literature. You have to learn that. Basically, you have to be brainwashed. Indoctrination means brainwashed. And then, if they did have God's message, what person would be qualified to give it? They're going to choose the person. A committee or members of the church or somebody, a pope would have to choose a person to give that, and they're not involved. You remember I kept on talking about the person that's driving the car. Nobody comes between you and driving that car but God. A religion has you looking for side streets, has you on the texting, calling you, having to drive by GPS. Everything in the world you turned over, keeping you from actually knowing where you're going. You are under control of religions, society. Nobody's free. So what I'm trying to tell you is this. God's come. He's known it. He's come. The God's war will come as a result if we decide to live or die. Now, God's war is with the people that have been controlling this world. The governments, the religions, societies, tribes, leaders. Every tribe, even the thing, has had their witch doctor or their chiefs, their form of government, the ones that they have to fear or respect. They're servants. They were supposed to be servants. Some kings, I'm sure, were servants, felt that obligation. But nevertheless, the world has surrendered its ability to be the driver. Somebody else has to drive their life. They don't really want to drive your life. And with GODScoin is the beginning of getting you the car, the vehicle. It puts you in the driver's seat. Nobody can take it away from you. You got a way to God. And nobody's going to take it away from you. GODScoin is a means for you to survive and live healthy every day. Not only live healthy, but you'll be millionaires. Everybody in this world will be a millionaire. It won't happen all at once. It'll happen one country at a time, starting with the poorest countries. Who are the poorest countries in this world? Burundi is definitely the poorest country in the world. And that's in Africa. I was there, and I was in Bujumbura, Burundi. One of the better places in Burundi. Because that's where the main airport was, and that's where the embassies are. But the poorest countries in the world, they will be millionaires first. They're going to go from being the poorest to one of the wealthiest countries in the world. Who else is on that list? North Korea. Our enemies. Who else is on that list? Chinese. You wouldn't think that was true. It is, absolutely. India. Africa. You talk about in this world, over 3.5 billion people out of 9 billion make less than $1.25 a day in wages. That's what they live on. If there's 4 in a family, they have less than $5 a day. They have to make that much. They have to make at least $5 a day to survive. In Burundi, it's half of that. It could be. It's more like $2.50 a day. It can be collected by a family. Selena's my airline ticket. She lives in Egypt, in Giza. She's got a good job and she's a manager. She makes less than $200 a month. That's crazy. How can people? I make almost $1,600 a month on Social Security. I could easily afford to give her $200 a month just to be my personal secretary. But the thing about it is, she's doing what she wants to do. Everybody needs to be staying what they're doing. My life's kind of like, I guess I'd say, in danger. Not so much in danger. It's not. I can't be compromised. I am in danger in the sense that asking somebody to take the risk of being with me is dangerous. You can't ask somebody to be with me. Not yet. Because the world might not understand what I'm doing and going on. When everybody goes to get GODScoin, first off, GODScoin, I'm asking 5 people in this world, the rich, wealthiest people in this world, to invest in a country. They'll come after this message today. Will come a message to Elon Musk. Then will come a message to Bill Gates, Donald Trump. Actually, Satoshi will be the actual first one. Satoshi Nakamoto and Bitcoin. Bitcoin, as I started out saying, it was $60,000 a day, or was worth $68,000 today. He hasn't reached 70, and now Bitcoin is going to be set on November the 16th, 2024, the day after elections. It's setting its price of $75,000. And then it's going to offer Satoshi 2 GODScoin for 1 Bitcoin. If Satoshi does not take it, somebody else will. But God wanted him to make the offer. That's for him to get his money out of America from USD, at least a Bitcoin. Take $187 billion that he has and invest it in the Congo. The Congo has actually 106 million people, 106 million. But we're going to divide that by 150 million. So when you take his 187 billion and you divide it by 120 million, everybody in the Congo will be millionaires. Do the math. You guys can do the math. I could stop this program right now and do the calculations, but you can do it. 187 billion divided by 150 million. It doesn't matter if there's only 106 billion people in there. That money is going to be set aside in the bank, available, immediately available if Satoshi does it. To be immediately available, put it in the bank, pending people opening GODScoin. They'll be open in the Congo. When they do that, that means that everybody that's living in the Congo, every Congolese has to run to the bank. Banks will have to come from all over the United States, all over the world, brother, all over from every country. The United States, Chase Manhattan's one of the second biggest. At the same time, Satoshi is making that trade with that. I'm sending a thing out to Elon Musk to take his $240 billion and invest, give his money to China. Now, China altogether is 250 billion people. 2.5 billion. 2.5 billion people. That's what the division will be. It's 240 billion divided by 2.5 billion people. But it won't be exactly the way you're talking about, because part of those 2.5 billion people is going to be North Korea and South Korea. They're at 5,000 to 1. It takes 5,000 won, Korean won, or North Korean won, or South Korean won, to make up $1. I think actually in North Korea it's like 3,000, but in either case it's going to be 5,000. Elon Musk is going to get that many GODScoin times his 280 billion, multiply that times 5,000. That's going to put his money in dollars to 1.3 E to the 16th power. Okay, that's 16 zeros. It might be 19, but it's a huge number. he will be past a quintrillionaire. He'll get that many GODScoin. Now here's the thing. Every country, Donald Trump, when he gets Burundi, it'll be multiplied times 5,000. As far as Bill Gates is going to inherit Palestine, to take his $187 billion and invest it in Palestine. And in the country that associates himself with Palestine. That could be Jordan. That could even be Israel. Or it'll be Iran. It'll be whoever can stop that war. Whoever will step up to stop that war. They have to come to a ceasefire. I was there. I was in Jerusalem. I was in Palestine, and I went to the hospital, and by ambulance was taken to Jerusalem. God works in mysterious ways, and I ended up in Palestine. Was going to be bringing about the end of this war by calling them out. How can any religion kill, especially the Jews? The Jews had barely crossed the Red Sea. They were still on dry land, crossing dry land, but the parting of the Red Sea. Only a month away, they were receiving the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill. What part of thou shalt not kill that was misunderstood? When Joshua decided to claim the lands of milk and honey and started going to war, they've been killing ever since. They even committed genocide twice. Those are just 2 times known about. Now here's the theory. If they're writing the Torah at the same time. They're writing all the records at the same time. I mean, if they didn't have a Bible to go by or Torah to go by, they're writing the Torah. Moses had to write the Torah. He'd be writing the Genesis and all. But who wrote the Torah? And who were murderers? They were murderous people. When you're writing the Torah and you have to make yourself look like a hero, that means that they altered the truth. They were not telling the truth. They had to make themselves look like heroes, and they were murderers. They were going against God's will and against His commandment. They were doing their own will. It says in the Bible, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. No, they were doing their will. Their book of Judges was written by their judges. They're playing God. Everything that's written in the Torah is, to me, BS. Well, put it right. Everything that's written in the Bible, to me, is BS. Everything that's written in the Quran, to me, is BS. There is some truth to it. I don't know what else to put it. In BS, there could be some good out of BS. We use it for fertilizer. There is a lot of good comes out of this fertilizer. It's fertilizer, but there's impurities in there. They made themselves from murderers to heroes. Do you understand that? So BS is a proper word. I had to think about that because when I talk, God's talking at the same time, and I'm kind of repeating what God says. That's why I don't hesitate and know what I'm talking about, and I say it with confidence because God my mouth is God. Are my words? Is my thoughts? No. This is it. I'm expressing what God's telling you. This is what God's war is all about. God's war will start with GODScoin. It will offer Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Satoshi Nakamoto, Donald Trump, Jeff Bezos, the opportunities to go to the countries you start, just to light the fire. That puts some money inside the countries automatically available to every country. Who's not going to go if they find that they just have to go to a bank and open an account? Who's not in those countries going to go get it? Of course, everybody's going to go get it. They're not going to, but not the whole world, because they're not in that country. Everybody in Burundi, everybody in Palestine, everybody that's in the Congo. Jeff Bezos, because you are the second richest man in the world, you will be bailing out the rest of Africa that's not not Burundi, but you will be taking care of the rest of Africa. All your money. So I don't know what that would be combined in population, but it's a lot. It'll be just about as much as Elon Musk has to do when he says he's bailing out China and Korea at the same time. Anyway, God's coin's inevitable. Once these people light the fire, it cannot be stopped. Now, what's this telling you? This is God at war with us. We're talking about God. We're going against us, the supreme being of the world, of the universe. And we think that we're going to fight him and go against him? Come on, people. This is not religion. It's not theology. This is not a belief. This is reality. God's going to win. We're going to lose. Whether you do, so your choice to live or die. Because we go at war. When God sees the results to see whether or not God's got a chance. Everybody in this world is going to be doing God's will. What's God's will for us? To live first. Live means to party, spend, build your homes, build your complete lives, but keep it between you and the driver's seat. God and you. Only God and you. Nobody comes in between God and you. This world has to realize that. They got to quit looking around, calling on others, asking others. They got to realize the one that gives them life is right there between them and theirs. Nobody needs to have somebody go between. Do I have to pray to somebody through somebody else to get forgiven? Do I have to pray for somebody else for help when God lives in me? No. This is what the world is making money off of. This is what people are putting power for, and they've abused that power. Religions have completely abused that power. I told you in their books what they wrote. The whole thing is everybody needs to understand it's all about God. Be getting them personally between you, nobody between us. I'm going to have to stop this film because somebody's pounding on the door. I hate that.